What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Thank you for watching Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag on this Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. here in San Jose, Costa Rica. Big Monday ahead of us with Monday Night Football, starting our preparations for NCAA football and an 8-game MLB baseball card. A lot went down this weekend. First off, I had a nice winning day in baseball on Friday, except my lone loser was the birthday pick I gave out to Jace Gum and my boy Dominique Jackson. Very bothersome that the Mariners' first five was such a bad play. 3-1-1 with the push because I had the Indians in that game withdrew at 3-3 or 2-2. Sorry, in the third inning, and then in college football, I had a great Saturday. I mean, there was on Friday I lost with Boston College, but then we started rolling, and I should give a big shout out to Raven in the Desert. Raven in the Desert gave me some small school looks that were absolutely spectacular. So just for a quick breakdown on sort of how everything went down, I lost with Boston College first half -11 on the Friday, but then Saturday, UCF -7.5 cash, Kansas State, Mississippi State over 51 cash, Southern Mississippi +3 cash, Georgia State +9 loss, Northern Illinois +14 loss, Pittsburgh +17.5 cash, Penn State under 53.5 cash, Colorado State +10 loss, although that looked very good going in the fourth quarter, Duke -6.5 cash easy, Texas Tech -2 loss, and then Air Force +3.5 cash, UMass Charlotte over 66.5 cash, Houston Baptist +28.5, they won outright, Prairie View +11 cash, CS Sacramento -6, they won by 50 cash, Arkansas State +33.5 loss, Tulsa +14.5 loss. So it was an 11-6 Saturday, 11-7 overall, got me back to 23-22, still slightly under. So that was baseball, MLB, and then NCAA football, and then NFL was awful. I was terrible. I only made 3 bets, 3 plays on the week. I was pensive. I was paralysis by overanalysis. I had 5 stars beside the 49ers. I didn't take it. I knew the Titans always win games they're not supposed to and then let you down when you back them. Just terrible. I was absolutely terrible. Did not as bad in the contest, pick 6 as I did in the NFL, but it was absolutely terrible. And now, I mean, NCAA was so fun Saturday, taking shots. Sunday, I'm going to take shot. This week in NFL, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to, all the bullshit that was going on in my head, I'm just going to fire away. So that's sort of my breakdown on the weekend, 0-3 in NFL. We'll go over all of the records in a second. But first, I want to shout out all the cappers in the chat. We got Walla, Dose in the house. Kyle Jack says Drew Brees out indefinitely. Sad day for any Saints future ticket holders, but a spectacular day for the Atlanta Falcons future holders, +375 to win the division, and I got to win the conference. I believe it's 16 plus maybe 14 or 16 to 1, and then 33 to 1 to win it all. Beautiful day for that. We have AM in the house. What up, everyone? Coming at you from the aisles of Costco. Let's get capping. There we have Vinny Cornell, Jermel Wright, Joey Evang, Joe and Nisi locked in Milwaukee. Money line of -149. I will copy and paste that right now. Get that copied and paste. Know what Joey Works is doing on this baseball card. Here we go. Copy and paste it right there. Cobra Sports 609. Jermel Wright. Comic Ricky in the house. Man, do we need more Comic Ricky or what? I need Comic Ricky on the show. I need more videos from Comic Ricky. There's Shell Dog 83. Shell Dog doing spectacular work this past weekend. Serious business. Haley says, Broncos meltdown cost me 5-team parlay. Man, that was a wild ending. Unbelievable. Gio Mercedes. Kyle Jackson and I had an absolutely terrible Saturday on NCAA football, but bounced back nicely yesterday on NFL. Kyle Jack, that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes, and we believe in you. I tailed your Northern Illinois, and I'm ready to tail you again this weekend. Viper MB, Carlos Peroge had a winner with Jacksonville plus the points. Thanks for going missing that 2-point conversion. That was a wild game too, and I totally misread the total on that. There's Top Set 6-0 win in MLB. Nice work, Brandon Lugo. Yo, Randy Lockhart. There's Raven in the Desert right there. Raven in the Desert was incredible. He went 6-2 on his own, but he gave me some small school looks that absolutely dominated. Ben Sports 24/7. Alex Ramirez, Spidey play today. Eaton. Tiago Ruiz, Christopher Smith, Eric Jones. Ty Clinton says, who picked Arkansas State? Sadly, I didn't. And I just took them full game, and it was a miss. But But Big Ragu was all over Georgia first half, and they cashed so easily. You know, I'm extremely excited about college football. I'm extremely excited about all these experts that we're working with. And we're going to get to all the records in a second. But, man, Saturday that's as much fun as I've had just watching sports in maybe since, I don't know, before baseball season. I mean, since the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup, we're going out. Like, that's as much fun as I had as this Saturday on NCAA Sports. Unbelievable. Went 4-0, 1-4, NFL to end my week. Yeah, it was tough. Rick Rodriguez, Russell Gord. He says, easy dogs in college. What a weekend. There's some big dogs. Top set, Ron KC fan. Man, another thing about, I got to copy and paste. Ron, you saved me. When everybody was on Hawaii, not everybody, a lot of people were on Hawaii. Ron said in the chat, he said, Hawaii, and then he had exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. He said, you think Washington's going to let Hawaii cover after Washington loses straight up in front of an empty stadium? And that stuck in my head. There were certain things that stuck in my head. So I didn't take Washington, but I stayed off Hawaii. And thank you, that was all around. There's Nut Flush Allen Nels, Noli knows, Mally Mal, Prince of the City said, Pat's easiest game on the board, man. I just made such a mistake of everything. Mally Mal says, hockey's back. Vegas Golden Knights, 6-2 winner in their preseason start. I'm going to be all over him this year. Even though maybe I'm too late to the party. Juan Ruiz, ready to go. Rich G, broke 207. Ricky, Bobby, Lamont Williams, CT Bays, Shadow, JoJo Stacks, EJV. Okay, great group. Let's get to work. First off, let's give a big shout out to a couple things. One, there's still time to get in this $50,000 contest and still be eligible for all the top prizes. You're allowed to miss up to 3 weeks. And you've only missed 2. So there's the link to the contest. Shadow moved up to 34 on the pick 6. Boy, Shadow. Love hearing that. And then we have our Vegas Gun Award. I'd like to give an honorable mention to a couple cappers who were spectacular. First, Yu Chang Yu. Man, he was on one on Friday. Extremely sharp, and you were this close to winning a Vegas Gun Award for excellent capping. Same with Guru Sports Bets, 5-0 on Friday. So close. It was spectacular. Both you guys deserve it. Both you guys deserve it. But our winner for the Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping gave us 2 upsets on Friday. 2 upsets. Arizona State and Kansas State. Plus 555 and plus 206 were pinnacle closing lines. And they both cash. That's spectacular. That's our guy Farshad Hassami. Rafa, could you put up our Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping? There it is. Farshad Hassami. Man, 2 upsets he gives us. Arizona State, Kansas State. Unbelievable. Spectacular. And Farshad, when you see Farshad's name come in the chat, listen, this guy is a monster. Whenever I'm on the other side of him, I lose. He's very, very, very good. Shout out to our guy, Farshad Hassami. All right, we're going to talk Monday Night Football, but I think we'll wait for Teddy Covers to join us for Monday Night Football because we know that will be on his list. I'm going to break down these 8 games. In the contest, I got the Browns minus 2.5. But I never bet them, didn't make an official play. At this point, I'm not going to do anything. I'm angry. I'm very angry with how I've handled NFL. We'll talk more. Vegas Vic says, bro, is he in the chat? Respond if you in the chat, Farshad. Farshad jumps in every day. He jumps in every day. I believe he's got a job, so, he tries to handle it. But he jumps in every single day, so we got to keep our eye out for it. Al Boogie said, went 1-4 in the contest this week and shake my head. Hope the Browns cover to get me to 5-5 for the year. Oh, man, I'm very upset with how I've handled things. Okay. So let's quickly go over our records. Rafa, could you put up the very ugly NFL record? Very disappointing. 6-6 week 1, 0-3 week 2. I was just terrible this past weekend. I was just terrible. And, I have the under 52.5 in the Rams game in the contest, but I didn't bet. It was just very bad, very bad. And then NCAA football, after getting destroyed 2 weeks ago, had a nice week. Right around where I need to be to get plus units and start getting that plus ROI. And then baseball has been a struggle as always. Can you throw up that baseball record and then we'll get to work on these 8 games? There it is. 3 in one day on Friday, and then I took Saturday, Sunday off. I'm telling you, football's so exciting to me with NHL around the corner. I think I should take a deep breath on that shit, man. All right. Noli knows swept pick 6. Wow. And I tweeted out Noli knows his pick 6 plays. Wow, Noli swept pick 6. Attaboy. There's Red Girl coming off an 8-4 day. All right. And Ty Clint says, what a game last night, Atlanta Eagles. Yeah, I mean, for my futures, and I'm high on both the Eagles and the Falcons, and I think they're very good football teams, and they showed that last night. And I thought Wentz showed a lot of character. Now, if they had scored that last touchdown, I push in the contest, and I push here on the show play. Maybe I'll take the Falcons win. I need them to win the division. I need them to go over 8.5 wins. I need all that. So, whatever. Lose a little money out now. Take money out later. Joe and Easter, shout out my man Big Boss and Ragu. Had a great time on the Hoop Bang and Sports Talk live show on Friday. Joey Works, we need you on this show as well. All right, let's get to work right now. We're going to start with Orioles, Tigers. So we have 38 minutes before we're joined by Teddy Covers. So we have a lot of work to do in that time. Work that we can do right now. Okay, Means Alexander. Means opening up at -132. He's now at -142. Remember, I'm using opening lines from Pinnacle this week. All week I'll be using opening lines from Pinnacle. This total opened up at 10, -113, all the way down a full run to 9. Shell Dog said, Jimmy, I'm in the number 1 in the Big Boss competition. Can I get a shout out? Pick 6, not so hot, but I'm working on it. Shell Dog, you are a monster. I saw that this weekend that you were number 1. Absolutely spectacular work, man. Shell Dog 83, first place. First place. And what happens, Shell Dog, is you get paid out in Bitcoin. And all these sports books give you 100% bonus in Bitcoin. They don't charge you for putting in Bitcoin. So once you get, let's not get ahead of ourselves. You have to finish the job and win this thing. But man, you're going to be eating. You're going to be eating. And then, so whatever you get, know that you instantly get the 100% bonus at whatever book you choose when you use Bitcoin. Okay, let's start rolling. Rolling right now. Anna Merrick says, Jimmy, show me some love, buddy. Monday's the only day I get to gloat over my MMA wins. Anna Merrick, you got to gloat all week, man. We got to start our Thursday show with you gloating. But great job, Anna Merrick. And Anna Merrick will be hosting a UFC contest coming up October 1st. We got to work on it. We got a lot of work to do on that. There's Shell Dog. Great work. Okay. Vegas Fix says, who liked the Browns? I know that Ragu's on the Browns even at this point. But we jumped on at 2.5, and I'm not going to take it at 4.5 point difference right now. And Joe Anisi, 39th in the Big Boss contest. Attaboy! Mally Mouse says, fade the Jets, Jim. I don't know. I'm pretty upset, pretty angry. And the last thing I want to do is trust these Jets on the road when I could have got them at 2.5. So I'm not going to, because I won't show up to work rest of the week. I'll be so angry. I'll smash my computer, and I'll just... So I can't do that. I'd rather not play and not win money than lose like that and just go on a fucking tirade. Okay, Orioles, Tigers. Let's get to work. 79 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour, out to right. When does this game pop off? It's the only afternoon, the lone afternoon game on the card. All right, lone afternoon game on the card. Let's make sure I'm logged in with that. Yes, I'm logged in. Okay, perfect. All right, here we go. John Means, 10-10, 3.47 ERA, 1.11 whip. He's added a slurve. Since he added the slurve, he's been awesome. He looked great against the Dodgers. Been looking very, very good lately. 1.11 whip on the season. Tyler Alexander, 0-3, 5.40 ERA, 1.36 whip. He doesn't go long. He's sort of a bullpen piece. I expect this to be an opener day. Orioles are hitting 259, 740 OPS versus lefties. Tigers are hitting 257, 713 OPS versus lefties. Means has gone at least 6 1/3 and allowed 2 or fewer runs in his last 4 starts. He's rolling 1 walk and 21 Ks over that. He's leading all AL rookies in wins and ERA, and he was very good against the Tigers in his lone appearance against them. That was back May 29th. Held them to 1 run, 3 hits, 6 innings, but finished with a no decision. Alexander seeking his first major league victory. How do you trust Alexander? Eddie Euler has the Orioles 6-2 or 5-3. Eddie Euler says, hey, Jimmy, thanks Ted Covers for his great advice on OK State. And OK took team totals over instead of games and won both. Attaboy, Eddie Euler. Attaboy, Eddie Euler. Conor Cricky said, I took the Jets 7.5 for a middle. I get that. Mally Mouse said, Jimmy, fade the Jets trust. I just don't want to hate myself. And Russell Gordon says, I'm on the Jets, Jimmy. Okay, I'm just going to, look, this is supposed to be fun. And after going 0-3 on Sunday, if I take the Browns at 7 when I was just out of too much work on that Tuesday morning, that's no excuse because I still had time to click it on the contest, but to then give it out and show and bet it, words can't explain the anger that I'm already feeling. So I'm going to leave that alone. There's this new chaos in the house that's been killing Premier League and Bundesliga and Serie A. Attaboy. There's DJ Big Boss in the house. I'm working on a new schedule right now. I need to have the new schedule done by today, but I need more Big Boss on the show, and I'm going to figure out how to do that, and I'm going to get in touch with Boss right now. I've just got a couple days that are messed up right now, so Maybe Big Boss can join us on today's Late Show. In fact, Big Boss, if you're watching right now, I'd love to have you on today's Late Show if you could do that. Okay, let's keep rolling. Serious Business says Baltimore money line. I don't trust Alexander at all. Do you want a terrible baseball team on the road? That's the question. Now, has John Means been pitching that well? He has been. He has been pitching that well. The Tigers' numbers against lefties are improving. Andrew Wojcicki is on Orioles run line and money line for the day. Dadfen says, don't trust Means to shut them out, but love O's to win. O's and the over. There's Big Ragu in the house. Big Ragu joining us in the house. You know, Christopher says this game is trash. It is trash. There's no doubt about that. If I'm looking at this spot, the only thing I'd want is Means and the Orioles early. Means and the Orioles early, like a first 5 minus a half. But even that's at minus 110. And we need to get these. But these Orioles hit lefties pretty hard. First 5 minus a half and minus 110. You know, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take the Orioles first 5 minus a half, minus 110. Now, I understand. I'm backing a team that's 26-48 on the road as to actually have a lead after the first 5. But Means has been that good. He wants Rookie of the Year, and he wants it badly. And don't forget, the Tigers are 20-54 at home. 34 games under 500 at home. So I'm going to make that move here. Rich G says, get on Wisconsin -3 before it moves there. At least a TD. Better than Michigan. Wow. That's a big look. That's a great. That's great stuff, Rich G. That will be. Remo said, Deshaun Watson's birthday this past Saturday. Did you buy a new poster to celebrate it, Jimmy? No, Remos. I was very angry watching him in action this Sunday. Very, very angry. He's no longer my favorite quarterback. He's going to have to earn that shit back. All right. Nate Dogg says, I'm leaning Baltimore -1. Ben Sports 24/7 says, Orioles is the only play. Detroit doesn't it means end of story. I like it, Ben Sports 24/7. I'm still just going to stick with the first 5. I know both teams have shit bullpens, but I'm going to focus. Isolate Means against Alexander, and then isolate how these teams hit lefties. And we know that the Orioles have a couple pieces that smash lefties. All right, CT Bases agree with those on what's going. There's Matt Randall in the house. Matt Randall says Taint is Baltimore. Taint is Baltimore. There's a copy and paster right there. Matt Randall ready to go. All right. Jim Rummy, Friday MLB favorites versus underdogs finished 8-5 for a profit of 1.05 units on Pinnacle closing line. 3 wins more for a 1.05 unit profit. I'm sold. I know he's not sold. But man, Jim Rummy helps this team very, very much. He helps us very, very much. Okay, let's keep rolling on. Padres, Brewers, Garrett Richards, Zach Davis. Garrett Richards coming back. Be very interesting to see what he does. It makes it tricky to bet on this game. You know, I mean, when you look at Garrett Richards' rehab starts, it was just in rookie ball and high A. And 11 walks and 9 1/3, 13 Ks, 11 earned runs, 9 1/3. You can't take anything from that. But, you know, I have no idea what Richards is going to give us. And the Padres have high hopes that he's going to be their second starter behind Paddock next year. Very strange. And Andrew Wojcicki says, huge game, Rich. I'm fading my Wolverines all season. My Wolverines all season. And Farsha Sami, today's winner of the Vegas Gun Award. Friday's winner, Matt Randall, right there. Vegas Gun Award for excellence in capping. All right, Padres hitting 238, 716 OPS first righties. Brewers are hitting 247, 767 OPS first righties. We have 7 more games to break down in 30 minutes. Let's work together and make this happen. All right. Richards, that's first 5. Let me go back to money lines and totals here at sportsbookreview.com, the SBR odds page. Richards, Davies, total open at 9 -105. It's now over 9 at -113, an 8-cent move towards the over. Davies and the Brewers open up at -165. They're now at -157, an 8-cent move towards the Padres. Very, very strange. I don't know how you make moves here. I don't know how you make moves with an actual under or angle with what Garrett Richards is going to do. Just extremely tricky. Richards making his first appearance since undergoing Tommy John surgery, July 2018. Brewers, man, what a road trip. Braun hit the go-ahead grand slam in the 9th. Hader still looks susceptible. They held on for a 7-6 win. 6-1 road trip. They won 9 of 10 while losing Christian Yelich for the season. Impressive. Now they have this very easy schedule. And the Cubs and Cardinals are going to be playing each other nonstop. You know, it's possible that the Brewers slip through here and they could win the division, let alone that second wild card. So they're in business. And John Nick. Wojcik. Sorry, I had it right before, man. Andrew, my fault. Wojcik. I had it right before. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I've just filled with seething anger all day yesterday. Getting in my head, Andrew Wojcik. Did I say it right? Fuck, what's wrong with me? Wojcik. It's easy. Wojcik. I had it right before. Wojcik. Okay, sorry, Andrew. My guy, Andrew Wojcik. I'm going to copy and paste that. Say it all day. That's how much you mean to the chat, Andrew. Don't want to be that clown that's mispronouncing your name. Wojcik. Respect, Andrew. We love your insights. My fault. Sheldog says, tough to bet Padres, but only way to look for me. Wow. And, Mississippi Kid says, I put out Wisconsin -3 last night as soon as it came out, Jimmy. Jeez. Okay, I'm going to have to make a move on that immediately. Let's just copy and paste that. That'll be the first question. Well, Eddie Oler leaning Padres +1.5. And Andrew says, love you, Jimmy. We love you, Andrew. Wojcik. Brit G says, sweating out JMO. I was very, very angry. I thought I had to say your right name. Anisi. Isn't it Anisi? Come on, Joy. I thought it was Anisi. Tell me how am I screwed. Let me fix that. I thought we went over this months ago, Joe. Joe, okay, you got to hook me up, man. I don't want to be this ass clown mispronouncing names. Lamont, I did not get your max bet. Could you please send that to me again? Sorry, there's Bookie Lover Q in the house getting ready to work. All right, let's get back to this project. I just don't know how you can make a legitimate move here. And then the Brewers are coming back home after being on the road and being so good. I just think it's trickier than it looks. Although it would certainly be Brewers or no play. Davies didn't factor in the decision. Most recent start Wednesday. He allowed 3 runs over 4 in the third. I don't trust him at all. But he's 3-0 with 3.58 ERA and 5 career starts against the Padres. Richards has never faced the Brewers. Richards only threw 9 in the third rehab starts. And IC. Okay. Joe and IC. Okay. I can get that. Joe and IC. All right. Let me copy and paste that. What an ass clown I am. Okay. Joe and IC. All right. I can get that work. I can make that work, man. I'm not going to sit here. Dirk Diggler says, to be fair, Jimmy's Canadian. They talk funny. You're right, Dirk Diggler. You're right. Okay, let's keep rolling. I don't know how you can make a legitimate move on this game. I don't know how to do it. Top set. All right, you guys. Help me out, man. I don't want to be that guy. Top set. Come on. How long have we been hanging out together for you to tell me that shit? All right. Mally Mal fading Richards. I get it. Doug Barnhouse on a Cleveland money line. Dortmund, Barcelona, both teams to score -100. That's from our guy Doug Barnhouse. Let's talk White Sox, Twins, Lopez, Berrios. Twins took care of business, and I will not be cashing my +1100. And I did not, on the Indians win the division, I did not hedge it like an ass. But do the Twinkies keep rolling? Probably. They're just a good baseball team. Total opened up at 10. It's now at 9.5. Minnesota opened up at -236. There's been a 5-cent move towards the White Sox at Pinnacle. A 5-cent move towards the White Sox at Pinnacle. White Sox hitting 248, 697 OPS versus righties. Twins are hitting 264, 818 OPS versus righties. Lopez 9-13, 5.35 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, and 166 2/3, 155 Ks, 61 walks, 31 home runs. Berrios 12-8, 3.63 ERA, 1.22 WHIP. Come on. Oh, because I say Julian. Okay, all right. Okay. Julian Yasin, okay. Don't shake your head at me, man. Jesus. There's a lot of names I'm working with. Shake your goddamn head at me. I'll lose my shit after what I went through yesterday on a Sunday. All right, let's keep rolling. White Sox, Twins. Minnesota holds a 4.5 game lead in the American League Central. 13 games left against a bunch of bums. Magic number is 9 for the Twins. Could also become the first major league team to have 5 players with 30 home runs. There's Nasty Nate in the house. Lamont Williams, Brewers' first 5 run line is a max bet. First 5 run line is a max bet for Lamont Williams. Copy and paste that. All right, let's keep rolling right now before I lose my shit. Julian. Come on, now you're just messing with me. Julian? Come on. I'll copy and paste that, but I think you're setting me up there. Come on. Julian. I'll call you what you want me to call you, man. All right. Gotta stay focused here. I'm losing my focus. Okay, first team to have 5 players to hit 30 home runs. They have Cruz at 37, Kepler 36, Rosario 31, Garver 30, and then Sano at 29. Very close after hitting one on Sunday. 13th team in Major League history to have 4 players with 30 home runs. Last team to do it was the Phillies in 2009. There's Polo, that in the house. Minnesota, Major League single season record, 287 home runs, but they're just one ahead of the Yankees. That's why they probably keep rolling. Berrios 10-2 with a 2.40 ERA and 13 career starts. He was held back so that he could start against the White Sox. That doesn't make me comfortable. Okay, all right, Prince of the City. Rod Zawacki, thank you. Yes, happy Monday. Chicago will counter with Lopez, 1-3, 5.30 ERA and 6 career starts. White Sox dropped 4 of their last 5, back-to-back losses at Seattle. You know, Lopez seems to be good start, bad start, and he's just coming off a real bad start, which was on the heels of a complete game 1-hitter against the Indians. So let's just take a look at how hot and cold Lopez is and what he likes to do on the road. Here we go. Lopez on the road, 5.60 ERA. So he gets torched by the Royals at home. Last road start was against Cleveland. He was awesome. Look at this. Look at this guy, man. Look at this. So he shuts out Texas over 5 innings, then allows 6 runs against Atlanta, then a 1-hit complete game with 11 Ks against Indians, and then he allows 6 earned runs against the Royals. Does that mean he's going to roll right now? All right, Guru, let's let this go, man. I'm not going to be sitting here calling him Julian. I can't do it. But if he tells me to do it, I'll do it. Bobby Longwood's in the middle of a job interview. That's capping hustle right there. CT Bay's taking White Sox plus 212. Ben Sports 24/7 says can't trust Lopez against these twin bats. Eddie Olace is on paper of White Sox plus 1.5, but I think I'm off this one. Maybe over 9.5. Let's take a look at what's going on with this total. I don't know. Even Berrios is tricky to figure out. Coming off a good start after he'd been looked terrible for so long, then they give him an extra day rest. Total opens at 10, goes down to 9.5. I'm not going to sit here and make a ton of moves. And I don't know what to do on this, but I just think this is a possible letdown spot, possible. Let's move on to Nats Cardinals. 91 Fahrenheit, but feels over 100. A lot of humidity in St. Louis today. And there's Jay Garcon in the house. What up, though, Jimmy Lowbagger fan? Let's get it together, guys. This is what we do. Much love, Jay. Thank you for joining us. Strasburg and the Nats opened at minus 123. They're now minus 145, a 22-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 8.5. Under was juiced at minus 114. It's now minus 111, so 3 cents towards the over. Both these pitchers have been very good. Eddie Orr said Twins off a big series, but Indians could be a bit of a letdown spot. I agree. Strasburg, 17-6, 3.49 ERA, 1.05 whip. Dakota Hudson, 15-7, 3.38 ERA, 1.41 whip. Nationals rating 256. Yes, Nats Nate, the taint play today is the Orioles. Nats Nate, the Orioles. Okay, Nationals are betting 256, 781 OPS versus righties. Cardinals just 247, 734 OPS versus righties. Cards have lost 4 of 6. Strasburg won his last start against the Cardinals. 1 run, 6 hits, 6 2/3, struck out 9. And he was up against Dakota Hudson. That was May 2nd. And Dakota just allowed 1 earned run in 16. These are 2 good pitchers. And Strasburg, 3-2, 2.38 ERA, 7 career starts against the Cardinals. He's allowed just 7 runs, struck out 44 batters, 33 innings in his last 5 starts. He's pitching very well, but so is Hudson. 5-1 over his last 6 starts, 6 runs allowed, 16 hits, over 38 in the third. Now, the Cardinals don't have Carlos Martinez, sidelined with respiratory problems. Schultz worried about these respiratory problems. So John Gant comes in and looks bad. Darryl Lyles liking the Cardinals. Eddie Oler says Nats Cardinals first 5 under and under 8.5 as well. That's not a bad. I like that look. I'm surprised that's gone 3 cents towards the over. Maybe because it's so hot and so sticky there in St. Louis. Rod Zawacki on Cards, money line. Mississippi Kid says Georgia will defeat Alabama in the SEC championship game in Atlanta this year if Alabama gets by LSU. Wow, love that. Love. And anything Mississippi Kid says about college football and capping in general, we just listen. Bookie Lover Q says, what's the Cards' first 5 under, Jimmy? Here at Sportsbook.review.com, the first 5 under in this Cards game is 4.5. It opened under 4.5 minus 108. There's been a 7-cent move towards the under. It's now 4.5 minus 115. Bookmakers already moved it down to 4. So if you were advantage betting, you would know what to do there. It's just so hot. It's so hot. That's the only thing that makes me uncomfortable there. All right, let's move on to Reds, Cubs, Gausman, Hamels. Hamels has looked so bad lately, but the Cubs are smashing the ball. Will they continue to smash without Rizzo? He's out with a sprained ankle. 69 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Gausman, 3-8, 5.83 ERA, 1.43 whip, 95 2/3, 107 Ks, 30 walks, 14 homers. See what Guru is saying. Oh, Christopher Smith on Washington run line. Nutflush on says, went to sleep Saturday night, had to wake up to get a drink, caught Mama Nutflush watching the Audible. She goes on to beat me in our weekly pool and was taunting me all day Sunday. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love Mama Nutflush so much. All right. Guru says, I hate Hudson stuff. I keep waiting for him to get smacked. It may happen today. Interesting. Yes, Corey Simmons, our guy, Corey Simmons, student working hard, also making time for capping. Our guy, Corey Simmons. Yes, Orioles. And I'm on the first 5 Orioles minus a half, minus 110. All right, let's keep rolling. Gausman, Hamels 7-7, 3.89 ERA, 1.39 whip. Reds are hitting 251, 732 OPS versus lefties. Cubs are hitting 258, 799 OPS versus righties. Cubbies have won 4 straight. Rizzo sprained his ankle on Sunday. We already talked about that. They're already playing without Baez, who's going to be out for the rest of the year with that, or rest of the season, hopefully regular season, with that hairline fracture in his thumb. Reds coming off 3-1 win over the Diamondbacks, won 3 of their past 4. The Reds are 9-7 in 16 games against the Cubs this year. Have outscored them 81-73. Hamels looks bad. 4-0 defeat in his last start was a little better. 1 run, 4 hits, 4 in the third. They're still afraid to have him out there, 4 in the third, and he wasn't even looking that bad. 7.58 ERA last 7 starts. In his first 18 starts, he had a 2.84 ERA. 19 career starts against the Reds. Hamels 11-2, 2.21 ERA. Gray 2-2, 2.86 ERA in 5 starts against the Cubs. Why do I have Gausman here and Gray here? What the hell am I doing? Who do we have here? We have Gausman. What the hell do I have Gray stats for? My fault. Gonna get rid of that. Here we go. Delete that. And Eugenio Suarez, the only guy hitting. Eugenio's the only guy hitting for these guys. Rez Mob in the house. Corey Simmons giving a shout out to Matt Randall, team play of the day. Shell Dog liking Reds team total over. Very tricky. And Big Ragu says LSU is the best team in college football right now, but says keywords right now. All right, so I don't trust Hamels. I don't trust Gausman. See what this total is. Full game. I don't even trust the Reds offense. You know, this could be a situation where Hamels starts getting right. Huge move. Minus 205 was the original Cubs line. It's now minus 169. A 36-cent move at Pinnacle. This total over 9 at minus 110. It was juiced to the over. Now it's juiced to the under at minus 117. That's saying that Hamels is going to have a nice start. Rich G says Penn State is a first half fade from here on out. Grab points with the Dogs. PSU slow starters, not covering first half spreads. Thank you. Big thank you to Big Ragu on that Pittsburgh. Ringer Ring says what's Tank play today? It's the Orioles. Rich G. So big thanks to Big Ragu for Pittsburgh and the under. It was a nice way to get that Saturday started. Man, I had fun on Saturday. And all that fun went away on Sunday. All right. I could have made a ton more plays too. I had 18 plays on Saturday and I cut. Like I could have easily made 26 or 27. 11-7 overall. That's including the loss on Friday. 11-6 on Saturday. And I was 11-4 going into those couple late games. Texas Tech was a bad look. Okay. I like the Cubs here. But I wonder if money's going to keep coming in on the Reds. I like the Cubs here. Reds have no power against lefties. Eddie says Reds have played decent against the Cubs. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to play the Cubs. And if the money's just going to keep coming in on the Reds, I'm going to wait. I don't need to rush that. But Hamels is I have some interest in Hamels, and I have interest in the Cubs continuing to step up even without Baez and Rizzo. I have a lean towards the Cubs of -1. I really do. What would I get on the -1? Let's see what the point spread here is. Plus 115. You know, money's just going to, if money keeps coming in on the Reds, I'm just going to wait. Oh, man. Corey Simmons says, no one in here is mad as me. At 11-team parlay, $10 paid $22.90. What lost to Clemson, Syracuse over? Damn. Eddie Oler says, Bears Broncos was a beauty under. Why was I not on it? It was so easy. We talked about it the whole week. And just so upsetting. It's 7 miles per hour in, Shell Dog. 69 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour in. I think the Cubs keep rolling even without these big bats in their lineup. But you know what? I'm going to wait. If the market's going to keep hammering the Reds, I'll wait. Keep an eye on the market. Let's move on to Mets Rockies. 87 Fahrenheit clear, 5 miles per hour in. Mets terrible on the road this year. 10-8, 3.84 ERA overall, 1.13 WHIP, but so bad on the road. And Senzatella coming off his first good start. His first good start in a long time. Senzatella, first win since July 14th, 6 innings, 1-run ball against Cardinals on Wednesday night. First quality start since June 23rd. And then we have Mats, who away from Citi Field, 3-7, 6.08 ERA in 14 starts. 3-7 with a 6.08 ERA, making his third start at Coors Field, where he's got a 6.75 ERA. Just not very good away from home. Rockies have won 5 of their last 6 on this homestand. Rockies are playing good baseball, but the Mets come in and stop that. Mets are playing very good baseball. Mets, let's go to full game money lines and totals. I wonder what Dom Ricci's doing on this spot. Love to know what Dom is on. Mets open up at minus 142. They're now minus 148. 6-cent move towards them. Total opened up at 13.5. Was juiced to the under. It's now juiced to the over. Now juiced to the first juiced to under, now juiced to the over. All right. I'm not making a move there. Corey Simmons says NHL is fast approaching. I'm going to need you this year, man. Yes. I'm going to have a better year than I've had the last 2 years. Last 2 years have been good. Finished both years up, 20 plus units. And that's including last year losing over 10 units on futures. I know with the lessons that Jim Rummy's trying to instill in us, if I use that in the NHL, I'm going for 50 units here. Rod Sawak says, I love Mets and Mats today. Mats will have a good game today. All right. Kyle Jack says, Mets run line only play I'm on today. And CT Bay says, cannot bet Mats on the road. I agree with that. Scott Kaler saying, Richards for San Diego coming off Tommy John like the over 9. I don't know what Richards is going to do. Randy Lockhart said, lean Mets who lost a close game at home last night to the Dodgers, 3-2. Now 4 games back to the wild card spot. Matt's been pitching well recently, 2-0 with a 2.16 ERA over last few starts. Okay, let's move on to Marlins Diamondbacks. Pablo Lopez, Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray left that last start after 2 1/3 because of that blister in his middle left finger of his pitching hand. He says he's fine now, but it just doesn't work like that. Don Corleone said Jimmy O's is an auto bet today. Yeah, I'm on the first 5 minus a half. I like that spot. Marlins 23-48 on the road. Diamondbacks 37-35 at home. Lopez 5-8, 4.97 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Robbie Ray 12-8, 4.30 ERA, 1.34 WHIP. Marlins are batting 244, 681 OPS versus lefties. Diamondbacks are hitting 241, 726 OPS versus righties. Diamondbacks have scored 12 runs in the last 8 games. I mean, how could anybody back the Diamondbacks here? One, they're not hitting. And 2, Robbie Ray's coming off that blister on his middle finger. Yes, Raymond, taint play today is the Orioles. And Eddie Oiler says, street catcher guy with 18 in a row picked Browns minus 6. Jamel Wright leaning first 5 under. I wonder if Arizona coming back home will spark their offense. They're just not scoring. 8 for 56 with runners in scoring position in their last 9. Ray gave up 5 hits, 2 homers, 5 runs in the first inning while trying to pitch through that blister against the Mets on Wednesday. He threw all his pitches in the bullpen session Saturday. He seems like he's good to go. Ray 2-3, 2.43 ERA in 5 career starts against the Marlins. I would not want them with that blister issue. I would not want him at all. You got to think that it's shocking that it could be better now. But they opened up at minus 197. Now they're minus 200. This total opened up at 8.5. Maybe we should go over the 9. But how do we back that with this Diamondbacks team that's just not hitting? Finally, we get the Royals and the A's. This is the last game on the card, and then we'll take another look at everything and make a move there. Eddie Oiler leaning Marlins D-backs over. I feel you. I am too. Nate Dogg leaning Miami plus 2. I mean, don't really want to turn this dog into a favorite. Royals at A's. Royals 26-48 on the road. A's 48-27 at home. Rourke rolling 4-1, 3.40 ERA, 1.18 WHIP as an Oakland A. Sparkman looks terrible. Raymond says, get me some NHL cash tonight, Raymond. No, Raymond, I'm not going to hammer preseason at this point. Right now, it takes a lot of work following the beat writers and the Twitter it just takes a lot of work figuring out who's going to be on it, who's going to be playing. And even then, is there an angle that I just, I'm going to be following along, but I'm not going to be betting at this point. Rods Wack says, D-bag slumping, no action for me. I think that's how I'm going to handle it. Jamel Wright liking Oakland team total over. I wonder if Sparkman has an okay start here. I know he's been trash. He's been so bad, and he was bad against the A's last start, but this is a pitcher's park, and he's pretty good in those types of parks. A's have won 6 straight. Rourke 3-0 with a 1.88 ERA at home. I'm certainly not going to back the Royals. So don't get me wrong with me saying that maybe he's an okay start here. This total opened at 9.5, still at 9.5. Rourke opened at minus 288 to now minus 272, a 16-cent move towards the Royals. Even on the run line, which has been very good to us. The A's on the run line has been good to us all year long. Even that's minus 140 or minus 145. I do not find that appealing. Eddie Euler leaning Oakland minus 1.5. Boogie Lover Q talking about Lagonza. And Sheldog says, I think he does, Jimmy. If he does, then maybe the under is in business right now. Von Polo says, I can't believe people are still betting on baseball right now. And Eddie Euler says, only lean Islanders, Flyers under 6. Vigneault implementing his system. I'm excited about Vigneault there, but I mean, do I just make the same futures bets I made last year? I mean, everybody liking the Flyers to be better and the Panthers to be better. It's just hard to go back to the well. But I can't tell you how often that happens. I'll make futures on a team, and then it's the next year that they do what I expected them to do this year. Mally Mouse saying Islanders and under squad. And Guru says supposed to clear up before game time, but it's dumping. And Eddie Euler says, Guru, I have 55% chance of rain in Oakland. All right, I guess I'm going to add a second spot. Viper MB, 246 in the Pick 6 contest. Getting torched. Nice work, man. 246 out of what, 2,100? Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I'm going to make a move here on the Cubs. The Cubs at home. Cubs at home with Gaussman on the mound against them. I think the Cubs keep rolling. Cubs minus 1. Another reason for that, Raymond, is I beat NHL every year. I do everything the same every year. Everything. From my studying, I do everything the same every year, and it just works. And the last thing I want to do, but I am changing something this year. I'm not going to go down double-digit units in the first 10 days of the season. So the first Monday to Friday and the second Monday to Friday here on the show, I'm only making one bet on a underdog, hopefully a home underdog. But I'm only making one bet a day. That's it. I'm not going to make the same mistake I've been making. So that'll be the only change to my action. All right. So Rods Wax said Oilers going to have a good year. Doesn't look like McDavid's going to be ready game 1. So I don't know. We'll have to. I don't know. Guru says it's real humid type day out here. Going to be lots of moisture in the air. I could see balls dying out here. Guru, I love that look, man. I kind of like that look on the under. I know it's tough to trust Sparkman, but and there's money coming in on the over, so maybe we can wait. But I kind of like that look. Jamal Wright says staying with the Cubs while they're hot. I agree. So I'm going to add that on the minus 1 line. I'm going to add that. Now we know that. Actually, should I keep waiting? Is it still money coming in on Cincinnati? There is. It's still happening. Oh no, it's coming back onto the Cubs. Okay. I'm going to take the Cubs on the minus 1 line there. There's been a 6-cent move towards them. Luis Fernando Esquinza says, Jimmy, if the trend of this weekend continues, tonight's NFL game is under lock. I have some interest in the under. And Noli Knows says works the other way around. Humidity gives the ball less resistance. Humidity does. But if there's a lot of moisture in the air and it's cold, because like if you look at the weather right now let me pull this out quickly. Where are we here? Let's look at what they have the humidity here. Weather. Here we go. Weather in Oakland. Sorry, you're right. There is a lot of humidity. So yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that. All right, I'm gonna make a move on these Cubbies right now, though. The money line I'm getting is minus 166 at Bet Online. Minus 166. Taking the Cubs on the minus 1 line. That is a minus 166 money line. Money line minus 166. And a minus 1.5 run line of, get to the spread here. And the run line for the Cubbies. Wow, that plus 115 is gone. Damn. Shouldn't have waited. Plus 110. That's available at 5 Dimes and Bookmaker and a few other books. All right, so those are my only 2 plays on the card. And maybe my only 2 plays on the card. I have no problem dropping the quantity of action I have. Orioles first 5 minus a half at minus 110. And I'm on the Cubs on the minus 1 line. And that is my action right now. We will talk more about this on the Late Show and see if we want to make moves. Guru says, no, not this kind of humidity. You can feel it. My hands are getting wet sitting outside. You can feel the air is heavy. Raymond made it to the finals of fantasy baseball, guaranteed 250 at least. Nice job, Raymond. Nate Dogg says, where's Guru? He's right here. Nate Dogg, he's rolling with us, as always. Okay, so we are going to be joined in 3 minutes by our very own Teddy Covers. So let's move over to what we feel is going to bang out in this game. First off, let's get some confirmations on the injury report here with these New York Jets. Because there's no way you're going to want to back an under if the Jets' defense is still in the kind of shape that we're expecting it to be. I'm going to go to injury report here. We need Mosley in the lineup. Let's see what we're dealing with. Here we go to these New York Jets here on the injury report. See what we're dealing with. And yeah, Mosley's out. I mean, I know Le'Veon's going to play. Demaryius with the hamstring. We know Darnold's gone. But that's just a huge loss with Mosley. Huge. I just can't take an under like that. I just... Polo this, Polo that says 4 touchdown minimum for Browns. I don't know about the under unless a shout out. Big Ragu says, where's the schedule of guests posted? Ragu, I'm still working on it, but you are Monday and Friday late shows. So you are going to be on our Monday late show today if that still works for you. So you're locked in Monday, Friday late shows. Ragu, that's locked, my friend. Prince of the City says, Kansas State, Mississippi State over I gave you. Yes, Prince of the City, I don't even know if you're talking to me, but thank you. Thank you. Pie Guy says, after the Breeze injury, that Falcons ticket to win the division looks good. I only have 100 on it at plus 375, but feels good. All right, so we'll see what Teddy wants to do with this spot here on Monday Night Football, but I've kind of already told you guys how unbelievably angry I'm going to be if it doesn't come through. So I'm not going to make a move. I understand Mally Miles saying Jets dead tonight. Pie Guy, you jumped with me as well on the yards under, didn't you, with Le'Veon Bell? Because I think we're going to cash that quite easily. Now, I know he's going to be their only option with Simeon. Ragu leading under. It's hard to do that, though, right, Ragu? Isn't it hard to do that without Mosley in the lineup? I just find it extremely difficult. And Browns defense just got shredded in their last start. Did not look good at all. All right, so we're going to talk with Teddy about the Monday Nighter that I have no move on. Let's move over to NCAA football and see what we're dealing with, especially with this Wisconsin start. So we have Houston-Tulane on the Thursday. I had backed Tulane. Prince of the City says, yes, for you, only Booker Lover uses the tens. Yes, Prince of the City, that was a nice score on that K-State, Mississippi. It was a great Saturday. I had enormous fun. You're welcome, Rich G. You're welcome. Taking a lot of heat for my accent today. Taking a lot of heat, but it's all good. It's all good. All right, I have a difficulty backing Tulane here, but we'll see what Teddy Covers has to say. That Tulane game really got me. Nasty said, "Do you get these bets into your local as we go along?" No, Nasty, I don't do it as we go along. I do it after the show. There's no way I can do it sometimes when I was working with Pete, I could get it in during the show, but no, I have to do that after the show. And look at Rich G. Roethlisberger out for the season. Wow, Rich G. Wow. Unbelievable stuff. What a week losing Roethlisberger and Breeze. Wow. But But, it's looking good for a lot of those who have Ravens tickets, stuff like that. And then for me, the guys with Falcons tickets are in business. Wow, that was wild. All right, we are going to make our move over to our guy, Teddy Covers, who joins us Monday to Friday here on Betting with the Bag, right at, depending where you are, 10 to 12 Eastern, 10 to 9 in Las Vegas, Nevada, where he comes to us from. Teddy Covers, thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. How you doing?
Oh, man, what a weekend, dude. I am recovering from a whole lot of insanity over the last 72 hours. But we had a good weekend. I made money. My clients made money. Nothing but smiles on a Monday morning. But, Monday morning's fire time. And, of course, after, a grueling weekend, sometimes you got to here, the caffeine's on full display this morning. Cheers.
I hear you. I had a very, very fun Saturday that turned into a very anger-filled Sunday. But Saturday was wonderful, and it was fun. And I feel like I can improve with getting at attacking certain games earlier, like the Ohio State game, like the Louisville game, where you were on those spots, but you got in early. And then as I waited, watching the line move up, I ended up staying off. In fact, it could have been a monstrous Saturday. I went 11-6 on Saturday. That's with losing my last two games. I was 11-4 going into my last two games. So I was 12-15 with the record. We'll pop that record back up, Rafa. We're now 23-22, just down 0.7 units, but no, that's my horrible NFL record. We're talking NCAA football. That was an 0-3 on Sunday. That was very irritating, Rafa, throwing that in my face one more time. NCAA record, 23-22, 0.70 units. I'm very excited. I had, and I was saying, Teddy, I had as much fun on Saturday with all the games going on. Now it helps, with Pittsburgh, plus the points and the under and getting off to a nice winning start. It makes it more fun when you're not chasing. But I had so much fun watching all these games on Saturday, and I thought we all did excellent work, and that's you all, I should say, really. I was just listening and making moves. I'm excited about this card, but first off, Teddy, the chat needs to know, are you making a move on this Monday nighter? I know that you gave everything out for the Browns minus 2.5, and because I didn't get to bet that, I don't want the Browns at minus 6.5 for 7, just because the anger that I'll have if they cover the 2.5 but not the 6.5 for 7. Are you making a move on the total?
I'm holding the 2.5 in my pocket. I got down on Cleveland early last week, thinking that line was likely to move to 3. So I got the 2.5. I got it at my minus 110. So I didn't have to lay any juice with it because it was fairly early in the week. And then obviously after the Sam Darnold situation. And it's not just Darnold. The Jets have multiple defenders out. Their wide receiving core is banged up. New York is not a healthy team going into tonight's game. But the 2.5 is in my pocket. If I had to play the game now, and again, I don't have to play the game now, but if I had to play now, I would still lay with Cleveland. I don't want the Jets tonight. I think the Browns are coming to play, and I think the Browns' A game is pretty darn good. So I would only take Cleveland, even at but of course, if you have 2.5 in your pocket and the prevailing 9 now at 6.5, you're not going to recommend, hey, go grab that 6.5. So it's I took down the play, and that sort of thing. I'm not, I got the 2.5 in, and that's all I want to do with this game. Total wise, I don't have a strong opinion. Part of me thinks that the Browns defensive line is going to blow up the Jets up front. And part of me thinks that, in a week of unders, that this game has shootout potential. It's not like the Jets don't have playmakers, not like the Browns don't have playmakers. So I really have mixed feelings on the total. Sideways at current number, again, I'm only looking at Cleveland here, but the price isn't right anymore. So, I laid the 2.5 and I'll just hold it. If I see a 7, I might buy back on the Jets. And that's a might. I'm not even sure that I will. But I'm not convinced I'm going to see 7s today. The wise guys will jump in anytime they see a 7.
To be honest with you, knowing that Mosley's going to be out, I have a slight lean to the over, although I'm pretty certain we're going to get a bounce back defensive effort from the Browns against an easy offense to defend without Darnold on there. But without Mosley, I feel like the Browns can put up points. And what do you think about this Browns defense? Do you think that was a Do you think they're a much better squad than we saw against Tennessee in week 1?
They were fine against Tennessee in week 1. Don't be fooled for a minute by that final score. That game was 15-13 in the fourth quarter, and then all of a sudden it's, a pick six and a broken play. And next thing you know, it's a 43-13 final. That game was 15-13. Cleveland's defense is just, I believe in the Browns defense. Certainly that front seven is elite. They're going to put a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks this season. So, again, I'm a Browns believer. So there's a lot of pro bettors here in Vegas who aren't, which in a sense is a good thing, because that means that Cleveland is not getting the wise guy support. And the teams that don't get the wise guy support tend to be a little bit overvalued if they're any good. So I think the Browns are good. I think that defense is good. That front seven's loaded. From a talent standpoint, if you grade out the Browns personnel, they're as good as any team in the league. That's what happens when you have first, you draft first for first or second or third for, 10 years in a row like Cleveland did, but you accumulate some talent if you draft reasonably well. And in recent years, they've done that. So I do believe, I guess you're answering me the question, do I believe in the Browns defense? The answer is yes. I do think Cleveland has a good defense, and 43 points that showed up on the scoreboard for Tennessee, not indicative at all of what Cleveland brings to the table on that side of the football.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's a strong answer. I'm just at this point going to stay off. I was very irritated for some reason. I guess I don't know. I can't explain what went on with me in NFL this week. I was just so pensive and just not trusting the work that we were putting in, and when we came all down, and when we had that big market move to the over in Atlanta, and then the Browns. I was there Sunday morning, and I got up quite early, and I had one bet, and I should have just left it at that. You don't. I was just, it was a bad weekend. And then it was a good weekend. It was a plus. Like, I made money this weekend, but only because of college football. Let's get into college football right now. Teddy, the whole talk in this chat so far is take Wisconsin, back Wisconsin, back Wisconsin. The 3.5 is not going to be here for long. Are we making an error by saying that Michigan is absolute trash? Or is it the right move to make? Because the whole chat's on Wisconsin. What do you think about this big Michigan-Wisconsin spot?
I think Michigan wins the game. I think Michigan's one of the best bets on the board. And I think if you're looking to bet Wisconsin this week, you're looking at college football the wrong way. Flat out. It's a flat out, like, you're not getting the concepts here. All right. This is what Wisconsin has done so far. Blown out of Patsy. Now they step up. This is what Michigan has done so far. Underachieved against, the Army game, no big deal. I'm not worried about that at all. The Army game. Week 1, they have the MAC school or whatever it was. Oh, Middle Tennessee, that's what it was. And Middle Tennessee moved the football against them. Don't buy any of that. Michigan is just fine. Michigan is better than Wisconsin. Michigan is better than Wisconsin on both sides of the football. Michigan can win on the road. Michigan can dominate the line of scrimmage. We don't trust the Badgers quarterback at all. We do trust the Wolverines quarterback. We're getting points here because, Harbaugh, Michigan. Michigan is better than Wisconsin, period. You'll see on Saturday. I can't tell you it's stronger than that. If you guys love Wisconsin, knock yourself out. But this is one that I feel pretty confident on Monday morning. And I haven't put it in my pocket because I don't need to yet. I don't know. What's that line doing? I looked at it last night. I looked at it first thing this morning. What's that line doing right now?
It's at 3.5, and we're expecting money to come in on Wisconsin just from reading the chat, but that's not happening. At Pinnacle, there's been a 9-cent move towards Michigan at plus 3.5, and
yeah.
So
I'm gonna just so you know, I'm gonna, when we get off the air, I'm gonna bet that plus 3.5. I don't think it's gonna be there. I will absolutely put that in my pocket on Monday morning.
Wow, that's exciting. That's exciting stuff, man. Rich G says Wisconsin front seven will dominate. They will rush for over 200 yards. Harbaugh doesn't win big games, especially on the road. Bookie Lover Q says Michigan sucks. Tomino says Michigan is not better than Wisconsin. Patterson sucks, but Wisconsin has issues at quarterback too. Wow, what an exciting game to start this card off with. The whole chat on Wisconsin, and Teddy says, do not do it. Man, that's so fun. That's so fun. Well, we'll be talking about this all week long. Let's get to that Thursday game because we're already seeing money coming on Tulane. Tulane opening at -3, now at -3.5. Of course, we don't have totals out on the Monday. What's your first feel on this Thursday nighter, Houston-Tulane?
So this is one that I attracted a ton of attention in chat last night. I know there were a lot of people out there looking to bet Tulane in this game who are very disappointed in this point spread. You know, my powering number, and again, I'm fairly high on Tulane. My powering number only came 1.5 on this game with Tulane favored. So I was hoping, I'd get a pick 'em, but at a field goal and going up. I can understand the love for the Green Wave. And look, we saw Houston against Wazoo last week. They played well enough to get in under the number, and that number was a little bit inflated. This is about the exact opposite offense that you could possibly face in a short turnaround situation, you know, in terms of what Fritz is doing at Tulane and compared to what they faced last week. The quarterback, King, I should say, Derek King isn't 100% by any stretch of the imagination, and Green Wave have been overachieving early on. They're a team, again, you know, way under the radar, but the wise guys had Tulane from last year and into this year saying, watch out for this squad. So unfortunately, the price isn't right. But if I had to play it, Tulane's the play. But my number came out shorter, so it's not one that I'm about to get to the window with.
Makes sense. We'll be keeping an eye on the Thursday nighter throughout. And then we come to Friday, and the big look is Utah-USC. USC upset by BYU. I did not trust USC on the road. That doesn't mean I took BYU. It's just a stay-off game. I stayed off a lot of the big games and just focused on the games that I thought I had edges on. And, God, I can't tell you how much fun I had on Saturday. Isn't winning fun? God, winning is fun. And then losing is so horrifyingly oh, man. The juxtaposition between my Saturday and Sunday, what a roller coaster ride. USC opening at +3.5 at +100 at Pinnacle. They're now at +3.5 at -104. You think USC has a nice bounce back spot at home? This is a tough Utah squad.
My number is Utah -7.
Wow.
And if there's one team in college football you want on the road, it's the Utah Utes. You know, we talk about home field edge and all that sort of thing. The tougher teams tend to do well on the road in college football year in, year out. Utah's been one of those teams. They've been a great road favorite. They've been a great road dog. And when we talk about, you know, what happened, this is BYU with back-to-back wins the last 2 weeks over Tennessee and USC. Both of them wild games coming down to the wire. And, you know, the coin flip, BYU wins both of them. It doesn't change my opinion about BYU. Okay, BYU's still not a good team. Defensively, they're okay. Offensively, they have nothing. And the fact that USC is giving up points to that. I mean, Utah will be able to run the football in this game. I expect them to be able to move the football through the air as well. So the only question, whether Slovis, the company, is going to be able to trade points with the Utes. I think Utah is going to get in the 30s in this one. And frankly, you know, again, we saw the young QB show signs, and he has shown signs. But I don't like the mentality of this USC team. I don't like a young quarterback in his first start against an elite defense. And for me, that's a game where if I'm playing, I'm laying. It's Utah. And again, my number shows it against the point spread there. The Utes are nothing for me. I do not trust USC to do a whole lot.
Interesting. I like that look. Then we get to Air Force, Boise State. I have some questions coming in. I'm copying and pasting them. So anybody has a question for Teddy, let me know. Air Force, Boise State. We all ate off of Air Force in Colorado this past week. I had them +3.5. Dom Ricci 8 on the money line. We were all over Air Force. They were down, I believe, 10-0 early and just stormed back. And the public's paying attention well, I shouldn't say who is paying attention at this point. It's +9.5 opener, and it's quickly gone down to 8 in Boise State. Do you think Air Force is a good bet again this weekend?
Interesting question. I mean, look, let's give the Falcons a whole lot of credit. And that game was not as close as it would indicate. Air Force dominated that game, but they made a bunch of mistakes, allowed Colorado to hang around and then tie the score before they went into OT. But Air Force was a right side in that game. And from a point spread perspective, they dominated ATS in a way that, again, not fully reflected in that final score. And Air Force is a good track record against Boise. They've beaten them 3 times in the last 5 years. However, 0 times in the last 2 years. Boise with back-to-back wins over Air Force. And both times, the Broncos basically moved the football at will. They scored 44 and 48 against Air Force's defense. And, part of me thinks that the Falcons secondary is better based on what happened against Colorado, where they were able to shut down the Buffs passing game for extended stretches in that ballgame. And if Air Force can do that, and that's a game I haven't thoroughly gone through the play-by-play. That's something on my agenda for the next 24 hours. I want to really go through the play-by-play. Again, the box score is going to tell you a little bit. The team stat's going to tell you a little bit. The recap's going to tell you a little bit. A game that you didn't watch, the play-by-play tells you what really happened. And that's one that I want to go through to understand exactly how Air Force shut down Colorado's passing game. Because if they shut down Colorado's passing game, they can shut down Boise's passing game. If they shut down Boise's passing game, they're live dogs. If they can't, Boise will score over and over again, and this game may well go over the total. And that, to me, is the fundamental handicap for this ball game. Air Force's secondary against the Boise State receivers.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to the continuing to analyze that game. Let's move on to Florida International, La Tech. And, I cut my action down quite a bit as I moved towards when I actually bet these games. But man, you guys were on so many right sides this past week. And La Tech was another one of them, cashing as a big favorite, cashing so easily. And now they're at home. It opened at -10 at Pinnacle. It's now at -9, 8.5 at Heritage, 9.5 at Bookmaker, 10 at Bet Online. So the market all over the place here. Does Louisiana Tech take care of business again against Florida International?
And that's why we love betting on Mondays. The market's, it's not a mature market. You can get a 9.5 over here and a 10.5 over there, and it makes a huge difference. Again, we talk about all of these half-point decisions and, oh, what a bad beat. Well, if the bad beat ends up being a bad push, you don't feel quite as bad about it, I encourage you, don't be shy about getting involved on Monday, even in games where your opinion isn't that strong. If you see the market moving and you can get a number that is better than the broader market, you can decide what you want to do with it later in the week. You can bet back the other way. You can hold it. You have positive expectation situations regardless, as long as you're timing your bets correctly. And you can do that if you're just watching the SBR live odds screen on Monday morning. You can see it's 9.5 here, it's 10.5 there. Where's the broader market? Where's Penny leaning? Where are the Westgate leaning? Where are the books that cater to wise guy bettors? Because that's the direction the markets are going to move, and that's one that you can take advantage of every week. And it's a real bonus for checking out the SBR odds page. It should be bookmarked, and you should have that up all morning long. Whatever, you should have it up all the time. There aren't many bettors I know that don't have a live odds screen running somewhere on their computers, all day long. Makes it easy to check in and refresh and see what's moving. When it comes to La Tech and FIU, La Tech was very cheaply priced last week against a very bad team. And they ended up taking a fair bit of money before kickoff. And the markets aren't necessarily, the opening line. They've given a little bit of respect for La Tech. Look, my number was 11 in this ballgame. So my number says you just ride the Bulldogs. But again, when you talk about coaches and their roles, we don't love Holtz in this home chalk role. We like him much better in the road dog role, even the road favorite role. This hasn't been when we talk about Ruston as being a tough place to play, hasn't been in recent years. And they're coming off a blowout win over a team that's absolute garbage. FIU is bad, but they're not absolute garbage. So my numbers, it says that La Tech's the play here. I haven't bet it yet, and I'm not convinced that I will.
Interesting. I love having Teddy on the show every week and then every day all week, and then having all the cappers bringing in their insights in the chat. It's a recipe for glory. And I hope that we can continue this glory as we move forward. Okay, questions coming in. First off, Big Ragu says, Teddy, ask Teddy about ASU defense and what happened to Michigan State.
I was wrong. That's what happened. I mean, Michigan, the two things, all right? Arizona State played way better defensively than I thought they would. And that was me being wrong. That was a flat-out wrong handicap on my part. I should have seen it and didn't. And that's my fault. The other part of it was that Sparty's offense stunk, and I don't know that I saw that coming. They have playmakers. They just got to get the ball in their hands, but the offensive line was destroyed. The receivers couldn't find separation. The work wasn't good, and I had a problem with too many men on the field. So it was if I'm going to be wrong, in some ways, I'd much rather be wrong, especially on a good day. I think a lot of us had a good day on Saturday, and Michigan State was the one, literally the one that I was wrong. And I'd rather be wrong and say, all right, I was wrong on this, and take the loss, and you're not sweating it, than be right and get slapped in the face at the end of the game. Those are so hard to handle, especially on a winning day. So that being said, the bad loss for Sparty, man, there could be value with that team moving forward. I have not given up on Michigan State by any stretch of the imagination. I do think that team has the potential to make their backers money as the season progresses. And Arizona State is for them being a top 25 team. Where the Pac-12 has 6 top 25 teams this week, which tells you of all the stupid things there are, the top 25 might be the single stupidest. There aren't 6 Pac-12 teams that are amongst the top 25 teams in college football this year. Not even maybe. Not even double maybe. And Arizona State getting a fair bit of love in the polls and in the markets this week. Again, they just covered as double-digit dogs. And that's another one that I miss, is that Herm Edwards hasn't lost over. He's had 7 road games at Arizona State. He hasn't lost any of them by more than a touchdown. That's the way I'm going to look for Arizona State moving forward. Even wish the Frost QB, I'll look to take points with this team on the highway. They've proven they're pretty good in that role.
And that kind of rolls into our question from AM. Says, can you ask Teddy his thoughts on the under this weekend in Michigan State Northwestern?
That's a good question. Let me see. Do we have any totals up?
No.
Cirque's put up totals. We have totals here in Vegas.
Okay.
What's that game number? Offhand? Michigan State. I go look. Give me a second. I will find a total because I really haven't even considered the totals yet. That's usually a Tuesday thing for me. 38.5.
Wow.
And I do not bet college football under 38.5. I just don't do it. The game is too long. So it makes sense, but I don't. I mean, again, that's just one book. Cirque posted up first, but at 40 or less, you're not going to get me involved in an under in college football. And frankly, I don't know. Northwestern can't score either. I wouldn't be surprised if Sparty. I think Sparty is better on offense than what we just saw, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being, when all said and done, if they're an over team. But Antonio's not an over coach. But with totals at 38.5, they could be an over team before this all said and done this year. That total's really low.
Very, very, very low. Doing some copying and pasting here. Capo Don, I got you, man. I'll hit you after the show. That leads us into Guru Sports Bets question. Then we have more game questions, but this is a little different. He says, Teddy, what books do you consider wise guy books? We've heard what you think are in Vegas. What do you think? Or is that maybe the question? Sorry, Guru, are you talking about wise guy books in Vegas? Let me get some clarity on that question before I ask you.
Both. Yeah, because it's an excellent question to ask. Say, I always talk about leading indicator books. Okay, like just like we talk about in the stock market, the leading indicators for what's going to happen in the economy 6 months or 9 months or 12 months down the road. With sports books, it's not hard to figure out. I'll show you what my list is right here. Okay, what I call the leading indicator books. All right, I got Penny, I got Bookmaker, Bet Chris, I have Heritage and Grande. That's what I use for offshore. And when the money moves at those books, the money's going to move broader overall. In Vegas, I got Westgate, Caesars, Circa, and South Point. Those 8 books are literally leading indicator books globally. So if you track those 8 sports, I'm going to read them again. Pinnacle, Bookmaker, Heritage, Grande, offshore, Westgate, Caesars, Circa, South Point here in Vegas. Those 8 books, if you track them, I keep them on my screen separately. You track the numbers for those 8 books, compare to the broader markets, and you compare that to what Sports Interaction is hanging, or Bovada is hanging, or what William Hill is hanging, what coasts and stations are hanging here in Vegas. Those are books that cater to recreational bettors. So when you track your books on your wise guy books on one side of the screen and your recreational books on the other side of the screen, you see the disparity not on every game, but fairly consistently. And you can see where the broader market is likely to move just by tracking those leading indicator books. So excellent question, not a stupid question at all. And it doesn't matter. Vegas, offshore, I track both.
Beautiful. That was a very, very, very interesting. And we're all taking notes as fast as we can. Next question comes from our guy, Brody. Brody's also with you in the Michigan spot, the Michigan State spot. Sorry, did I say Michigan there? No, sorry. Brody's with you in the Michigan spot against Wisconsin. Brody agrees with you on the +3.5. And he has a question here. He says, ask Teddy about Colorado, Arizona State, and that is a late game out west. Arizona State opening at -7.5. Pinnacle's dropped it to 7. There are still a couple books at 7.5. Teddy, early look, Colorado, Arizona State.
So my number's 8. So my number favors the Sun Devils. That being said, we talked about this a lot last week, and I'm going to talk about it all year long in college football. Recognize the change of roles. Arizona State, great bet last week at +16.5 or 16 at kickoff. Double-digit dog. Now they're laying more than a touchdown. And that's wholly different from what we saw. That being said, I don't know if I trust Colorado's defense to get any stops in this game. One team can get stops, one team can't. And like I said, my number came out higher than the number in the marketplace this morning. So I'm only going to look at the Arizona State side here, but I'm going to look at it. I doubt I get to the betting window with Arizona State this week. I want them catching points on the road, not laying points at home, and not laying more than a touchdown against a team with explosive receivers who can, in theory, come in through the back door.
Eddie Euler asking about the possibility of a Big 12 shootout, OK State, Texas. What do you think there? You think that we're going to get an over in business when these two teams meet? And we watched the Broncos take care of business. We know that they've had Texas's number in the last few years. What is your expectation, Oklahoma State, Texas?
Yeah, let me just find oh, there it is. Sorry. So my number came Texas 8.5, which is much higher than the broader market. The early total, 70.5 for Okie State and Texas. Okie State fraudulent cover against Tulsa. Tulsa was right in that game. Tulsa moved the football against Oklahoma State's defense. That's definitely a concern for me. Texas defense got lit up by Oklahoma. Everyone's defense getting lit up. Or not with Oklahoma, by who did Texas by LSU. Everyone's defense getting lit up by LSU. Texas defense will get lit up by Oklahoma. In addition, is Oklahoma up next for Texas? That's something that's worth checking. I don't think that's probably till the first week of October. Let me just look real quick at what the Longhorns have up next. West Virginia before Oklahoma. They have a bye, then West Virginia, then Oklahoma. So that's not for a little while, the Red River Shootout. Total. He's asking about specifically the total of this game. I like Texas. I like Texas. I'm a Texas believer. Okie State with the late touchdown, and they were just trying to run out the clock and ended up costing Tulsa backers a lot. But I'm not sold on that Cowboys defense at all, which does bode well for an over. I don't know that Okie State has the type of playmakers on offense they've had in recent years. I really don't. You don't see the, James Washingtons and Mason Rudolphs and the guys that are going to be first and second round NFL. I don't know they have that on this year's roster. I don't know if I'm answering the question. I'm still thinking about the game. Sorry. Ask me again a little bit later in the week, and I'll have a stronger opinion. Right now, the gears are just turning. So I apologize for not having a full, but I'm not going to apologize because there's a lot of games that I'm not going to have a full take on first thing Monday morning. I'm thinking about it. The gears are grinding. And as the week progresses and as the information comes out, well, we'll see if I have a stronger opinion on some of these. Again, my first lean was towards Texas. I thought the number was a little bit cheap. Total-wise, I haven't really considered it yet. So I don't want to give you an opinion now that later in the week I'm like, no, I didn't mean that. Right now, the total for me is a no opinion.
It's fun. It's exciting watching it develop and watching the ideas develop throughout the work that you put in all week. So we love watching it, watching roll. I lost with Tulsa. If I hadn't a lot in that touchdown breaking through there, I was upset. But I would have been 12-3 going into the late games had that not happened. So it was we were on some real nice looks last week, and I expect to keep it rolling right now. More questions coming in. One is do we back Oregon? This is from our guy Raymond in class, capping right now. That's how much Raymond wants it. Oregon -10.5. Do we continue to fade Stanford, Teddy?
Well, I'm tempted. I'm disappointed in the number, though. I thought maybe we'd lay a touchdown here. Stanford is banged up. I mean, if you watch the UCF game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Their offensive line is banged up. Their front seven on defense. I mean, they have any healthy linebackers now? It's going to be a problem for Stanford moving forward. And we've seen, I mean, basically David Shaw changed his entire recruiting tactic about 3 years into his tenure at Stanford, when they were beating everyone, and not beating Oregon. And he's like, we need faster guys on D. And he literally changed the whole style of players they were recruiting on defense just for Oregon. And they've competed fairly well with Oregon in years past. So I don't want any part of Stanford. It's Oregon or pass for me, but I'm not convinced the price is right in this one. Big difference, Stanford. I laid 7 or 7.5 of them with UCF at home, and now Stanford's double-digit home dogs. In Florida, playing in the heat. And I'll tell you what, Stanford in that game, they got their asses kicked, and they still impressed me because despite all the adversity, nothing went right for them in that ball game early. They came out in the second half and they played hard and they made things interesting. And for a minute with UCF, you were sweating there. You're like, am I going to have to sweat this game? And then UCF came back and scored one more touchdown. It didn't matter. But Stanford, way behind, didn't quit, came out and played. That's a positive sign moving forward. That's a character statement for a team that is facing a lot of adversity right now. So I guess it's a long answer for me saying I'm probably going to pass the game, but I still don't want Stanford to be Oregon or pass, but the price isn't right.
Interesting. We'll continue talking about that game throughout the week. And then we all cashed on UCF, and a lot of us cashed also on Pittsburgh. And now they meet UCF. This move has already gone. We've already seen a 2-point move at Pinnacle, 2.5-point move at other books. Pittsburgh opening at +10, now +12 at Pinnacle. Do we back UCF again? Can Pittsburgh slow down UCF? What are your early angles on UCF Pittsburgh?
Boy, I'm disappointed in this point spread. I am. I think UCF's going to roll them. I think UCF's going to roll everybody. That's a mission team, and they're good. But my number's 7.5, and I've got UCF priced pretty high. But this is a team, again, once a team gets a buzz, UCF has buzz right now, and then they have a blowout win over a supposedly quality foe on national TV, the time has come and maybe gone with UCF. If you've been riding them for the last year and a half, you made a whole bunch of money. This price range is telling me that UCF has officially gone into the stratosphere. Again, my number's 7.5, and I'm high on UCF. So the number's clearly too high for me. If you're going to bet it, you don't want the dog. This is a deal where until the markets show they've caught up with UCF, you keep riding them. But the markets are showing me they caught up with UCF here. It's not a game I'm going to bet.
Not a game you're going to bet. Well, why don't we put a bow on this show with what looks to be the game of the weekend? Notre Dame, Georgia. Georgia, 13.5 favorites. Big favorites. Can Notre Dame stay within the spread, Teddy?
It's a lot of points for a good Irish team, for a real good Irish team. I will not sell Notre Dame. Sure, that's a lot of points, but and I wish they wouldn't have killed New Mexico, but that's a good offense. The Irish tried to step up in class in the playoffs last year and it didn't work well. And at times, even in recent years, when they faced the elites of the elites, Notre Dame has come up very short. And Georgia is not a team I have a whole lot of interest in stepping in front of. But in this point spread range, again, where's my number on this game? Where the hell's that game? Georgia. I know it came a little bit. My number came 12. And at 14, I might well be a buyer on Notre Dame. I'm going to wait. I'm not in a rush. But at +14, I would look. But again, like we talked about last week, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Ohio States, the Georgia, the top 5 teams, it's really hard to bet on them, and it's really hard to bet against them because they are that good, and they're being priced as that good. So I don't tend to get involved in a lot of these games especially when it comes to betting against these elite teams. But I mean, 14 with Notre Dame's is something I would be interested in at first glance. It's something I'd be interested in.
And then there's been a ton of talk. I know we got to put a bow on this bad boy, but there's been a lot of talk in the chat about how strong LSU is. Some of the cappers in chat say that right now they're the best college football team in the country, and they're going up against Vanderbilt. No pass defense whatsoever. It's already moved 2 points in LSU's direction, or a point and a half. Excuse me. LSU opening up at -22.5 at Pinnacle, now -24. Does LSU put a beating on Vandy on the road here, or can Vandy stay within the number?
LSU might put a beating on them. You know, there's little. I mean, my number came 27.5. All right, I don't want the dog in this one. And it's I don't know whether LSU's got to go for the jugular mentality on the highway in the same way. You know, it's one thing in the game against Texas where it was back and forth. I don't know what they're going to do when they have a 4 touchdown lead in the fourth quarter of these games. Are they going to push? Or is it going to be, let's chill out, let's get ready for the next game? Big difference when you're in this point spread range, how your team approaches the fourth quarter of a blowout win. And I don't know that for LSU. So again, my number says LSU or nothing. Let's see if we find something during the week that says the focus will be there for 60 minutes. If it is, maybe that's the way to play. But who's LSU got next? That's something that's always worth checking. Oh, a bye week, which means nothing to look forward to. But also, you oftentimes see teams fall asleep in the second half with the bye week on deck. I don't view that necessarily as a positive sign for LSU in this point spread range this week.
Interesting. So then would you say if you were going to back LSU, it would be first half only?
If I was going to back LSU, it would be Monday. I'd do it right now because that line can only go up.
I like it. Is there any angle, is there any game that you find very appealing that we should start studying and working on for tomorrow or for Wednesday's show? Is there any game that you like that we should get to work on?
You want to see the stuff stuff that I've leaned? Leaned to Appalachian State off the opener. I thought Auburn was really cheap. Auburn getting 4 at A&M. I thought that was too many, I should say. I thought Missouri was a little bit cheap. I'm interested in betting. I know that I was dead wrong about Kansas last week. I'm interested in betting them again this week. I thought Washington's cheap at BYU. You know I love Michigan already. My power rating has Michigan as the favorite in that ballgame. I'm going to take a look at BC against Rutgers in a bounce-back spot. I'm going to take a look at Western Michigan plus the points in a bounce-back spot. I've got Kent. I don't know if I'm going to get the Kent over Bowling Green. We talked about SMU last week. They're a team on my list. I had Oregon on my list initially, Notre Dame, and, of course, Louisville is another one. So that's just a handful of stuff that's jumped out to me off the page initially. So you can ask me about any or all of those tomorrow if you want. I think we talked on some of them today, but there's plenty more.
I was feverishly writing them down. So we are in business there. Teddy Covers, what a treat it is to roll with you here at Betting with the Bag every morning. We absolutely love it and love getting the questions coming in. Very exciting. We're coming off a great week. Do you feel like early in the season our edges are bigger because of the off-season studying that you guys have been doing?
Yes and no. I mean, the betting marketplace is changing as we speak, okay? And what I'm seeing in the college football betting marketplace is that there's a lot more influence for stuff that I think has nothing to do with what's actually going on in college football. You know, the actual matchups on the field, the offense coordinator against this defense coordinator against this offense coordinator. Those are the matchups, the talent-wise matchups. And people are always looking for shortcuts in college football. You know, it's all about, how do we handicap 60 games in 5 minutes? You know, no. If you put the time in, you can find edges. And I think in college football, in the modern marketplace, with the fact that there's so much crap out there, if you do the work, you should make money. I'm not surprised that a lot of people won last weekend. I'm not surprised that I won last weekend. I expect to win this time of year. But the nuances of college football changed dramatically from September to the start of conference play in October, to the middle of conference play, into November, where each period of the season has its own unique nuances that for beginning bettors, you don't see it, you don't get it. And that's something that I'm hoping I'm going to help as the season progresses, is what's different about betting, week 5 compared to week 1. And it's completely different. But the work you do over the summer should pay dividends over the course of the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the college football season. I hope you did. I hope you made money. And it's been a good couple of weeks. I'm not going to complain. Let's put it that way in my life.
I love it, Teddy. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Have a great Monday, and can't wait to see you tomorrow morning.
Cheers. I look forward to it, guys. Good luck tonight on Monday Night Football.
There he is. Follow Teddy Covers on Twitter. Teddy, can you hit us with your Twitter handle once more before you bounce?
Sure. It's real simple. At Teddy, that little underscore, covers. At Teddy underscore covers on Twitter. Tons of follow, tons of questions. I appreciate all your comments, guys. Thank you. Thanks for paying attention to what I have to say. It's very flattering. I appreciate it.
Yes, definitely follow Teddy, especially on the weekends. Very exciting stuff. He does all the work during the week, and then he eats on the weekends, and we all did last week. So great stuff from Teddy Covers. We got to put a bow on this show. We've gone a little bit long. My only plays in MLB, Orioles first 5, -0.5 and -110, and I'm still on the Cubs on the -1 line, regardless of the Rizzo injury. I know no Rizzo, no bias, but I think they keep hitting, and maybe Hamill showed us a little peek of him getting back to becoming a winning pitcher in that last. I know he only went 4 1/3, but he looked okay in that last start. And then Gausman's a gas can, so let's get him touched. Thank you, guys. We have no show without all these great cappers in the chat. Thank you guys so much. On the Late Show, Big Ragu making a live appearance for us. And I'm going to try to get DJ Big Boss on the show as well. So hopefully we'll have both those guys on our Late Show, as well as Drew Martin. So three great college cappers on our Late Show, so we can break down some of these early looks and get on them. Much love to all you guys. No show without you guys. Eddie Orley, Alex Ramirez, Shell Dog 83, Von Polo, Abduzak Abdi. Hey, Abduzak, have an incredible time at the ball game tonight. Abduzak will be at Target Field. Let us know if you got any action and if you think there's a move that we should make on that Barrios Ronaldo Lopez start. We got Board Scholar, Prince of the City, Guru Sports Bets, Juan Ruiz, Pink Eye Genie, all you great cappers. Dom Ricci, too. Dom Ricci, let me know if you make a move on that over, because it's starting to lean in that direction. There's Avi Gold. All you guys, much love to you. Let's get this cash. Let's get this Monday all started with winners, but most importantly, get after it.